did you even say to me?
I was like, you gonna look like that? Because they had never met her. They were like, is she black? Nah, she's not. Sorry.
Opposite of.
Yeah, very opposite.
I'll do like this.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine.
And then they're like, dude, he's gay.
My parents thought they heard me say that he was gay. And you didn't want me to talk about
No, go ahead. Oh, you got to walk in? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Growing up, Suketu, you couldn't even like get in the front door. The hat, $90.
Right.
That hat. This week, we're going to be talking to another couple about relationships, engagements, marriage, interracial couple, everything that we already discussed. So grab your cha and settle in. Make sure to go www.halfpastcha.com to submit your own questions. Let's get into it, Half Past Crew. Welcome to
Half Past Cha.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. We're with another couple that's an interracial couple.
What?
Oh my goodness.
What?
That's pretty crazy.
This is crazy.
It's Drew and
Jade.
Did you not
I
know her
knew.
name?
I knew.
Like, why
That
are
don't
you
look
saying-
good.
No, I knew.
It's not gonna look good at all.
not
knew.
look.
We're your hosts. My name is Suketu.
My name is Hallie.
We're an interracial married couple. I'm Indian.
I'm super white.
Super duper. And we talk a lot about being an interracial couple. We talk about experiences that you guys have had by you guys submitting to www.halfpastshot.com. Along with that, we have episodes with guests, couples, and all kinds of things, which is happening right now. We release a new podcast episode every Monday at 7 a.m. If you're new here, subscribe, turn on post notifications. If you don't, I will come find you. Please. So please turn on your post notifications.
We don't want you to
and
miss out
subscribe.
on stuff from us.
The other thing is, if you're watching on Spotify or Apple Podcast, follow, give us 5 stars. It helps the algorithm a lot. So settle in, get cozy, grab your cha. We got some special guests for you today. All right, Hallie, you can get into it. Okay. Which is just, you're just asking them normal questions.
Yeah.
This is just a conversation. The beginning of the podcast is like a
Get to know you.
you just have to say it every time.
Yeah.
So basically, like, people that don't know you guys, like, tell us a little about yourselves, what you do, where you're from, like, you're an indie, like that kind of thing.
Cool. You've already kind of like tense.
I'm not tense. We're good.
Can you tell he's
I'm not tense. We're good.
I don't
You're
think
like
he is.
this, like literally getting on the couch. You like
He-
spread out.
Well,
and
that's
now you're
I
like,
gotta sit up.
You know,
so it's like
what Drew looks like right now, he looks like if Kanye was supposed to come in here
man.
with his jacket on, with his gold watch on. You kind
don't
of
forget the ring. Though.
I
And
know,
the
I see
ring.
you've got a
With the
watch
ring.
and a ring.
You
Your
look-
glasses are gold. Like,
very
made sure
well
he got a
dressed
ring.
today.
Or
as
dripped
well.
out.
I love that.
So, anyways,
That's
Who are
amazing.
you, Drew?
Old friend of Suketu's. If you know the first video, I'm the first person to ever be in a video with Suketu.
Yes,
Drew Panky Wallace.
it was called
Thank you.
parkour,
Yeah.
and I
very-
really want to recreate it today. So we'll see on the main channel.
Well,
It
there's
should be
snow
there.
outside, just like the first time that you did the video, so it's
Yeah.
actually kind of perfect.
It was like at the end of the video where you throw a snowball at me.
I
Or
think it was the
something.
start.
Oh, the start of the video,
started that way.
snowball, and then that's where it goes into
Yeah.
the parkour because I get mad at you.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'll link that somewhere if anybody wants to watch the first ever video. I first met Drew back in like middle school,
5th grade.
5th grade. It's a long
Fifth
time.
grade. And I didn't
That's
meet you
intermediate.
until probably,
High school.
I don't know. Yeah, because we did track together. So,
Junior
like, I
year.
kind of knew of you. And there were a few group chats that we were in that
Yeah.
I knew who you were, but I always knew you went by Drew Panky Wallace. So, okay, is that like your full name? Like, is that your like middle name? Like, can you explain your
2
name? a
last
little bit?
names.
Last
Okay.
names.
Parents weren't together. So it's just like I got best of both worlds.
It
That makes
flows
sense.
really well, though. Drew Panky.
And now she
That's
wants to take it. And
Yeah?
it's just gonna
Jade Panky
muck
Wallace?
it up. It's gonna muck it up.
At least your Jade is just like one syllable, you know?
Yeah.
Like Jade Panky Wallace.
Oh no.
Oh,
It's not good.
so you want that name?
I want it, which I know it's gonna sound absolutely horrible, but there's no other Pinky Wallace in the world, so I kind of want to like.
Ooh, that's
join
kind
the
of
group.
cool.
I love that.
Same with Hallie. There's no like Hallie Patel. Like she's the only
That's
one.
for sure. Yeah, there's no other Hallie Patel in the
And
world.
so I get that. That makes sense. Jade also went to school with us, but we had no idea.
I knew.
Hallie knew. I didn't know.
I don't think I met you guys before today.
No.
Just knew of you.
We've never
Yeah.
met before today, which is crazy because you guys have been dating since high school. Is that right?
Since my senior year, and he graduated.
Okay.
He's a year ahead, so he graduated a year before.
So basically high school sweethearts.
yeah. I guess.
Half.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll count it because we're
Yeah.
high school sweethearts too. So we like to just talk to
We
people.
were
about
together in high school, but we also broke up when she was in high school and I was in
did.
college.
Oh,
so there was
yeah.
like a split there for a little bit.
Yeah, just a
And
little
then-
bit. Then we got back.
So I don't know. Does that count as high school sweethearts?
I would say so.
Yeah, so
My
counts.
parents did the same thing.
Okay.
Like they were together in high school, then they kind of split up a little bit, went their separate ways, then they got back together. But we all call them high school sweethearts. So Jade, what do you do? Give us a little elevator pitch about yourself.
I am a speech language therapist. I grew up in Utah, and then I moved to Michigan, and then I moved here. So that's me.
That's
Dang.
a lot
Kinda
of
never
moving.
left. Yeah. Stop laughing at me.
You're funny.
Why?
Yeah, you're funny. You're good.
So you lived in Utah. Were you born in Utah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you lived there till you were how old?
Until I was 12. So all of my family lives there except my parents right now
Oh wow.
and me. Yeah. My brother moved back. Everyone. Lived in Michigan for 2 years. Got out of the Utah bubble, which was nice.
Mhm.
And then moved here.
That's crazy. So then Michigan and then why Indiana? You ended up staying here.
I was planning on leaving for college. I didn't have any plans really.
I stopped that for sure. I stopped that
And
one.
then I had some motivation to stay. And then I didn't really want to move back to Utah, like at all.
So you
So-
wanted to go back to Utah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All in high school, I thought I was going to move back to Utah.
It's warmer there.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
was gonna say
It's-
probably not. Actually,
It's basically the same like climate.
really.
Yeah, except they get like all the extremes. So like it'll be like 3 feet. Oop. It'll be like a foot here, but it'll be like 4 feet there.
Oh.
Or it'll be like 80 here, and then it'll get to like 90s there.
Well,
Oh.
it's different though because we have no humidity in Utah. So like
That must be nice.
if it's 80 here, maybe you'll feel like 86 or whatever. If it's 80 in Utah, like it feels like 80 degrees. So it's
80 here is like 97 degrees.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Indiana's like, kind of crazy.
And now you guys are engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
so exciting. So how long have you guys been together officially?
A little over 7 years.
7 years. Wow.
We're about to
I
hit
want to
9.
say
Yeah.
like 7.5
Eh.
next month. I want to say.
Well, yeah, we just spent our 9th Valentine's together, which is crazy. Oh my gosh. It's crazy how time just goes by, and you guys have been together, I mean, since high school, since college. So you went to the same high school. How did you guys officially meet though? Like, did you have mutual friends or like what was the situation?
Yeah. I graduated, and then I was hanging out with friends. Shout out Frank. One day he was like, "What are we doing today?" Like, let's go to Jade's. I was like, who is Jade? And then roll up in Presswick. Like, who is Jade? Like, what is this? And then
Wait, you live in Prestwick?
I
She did.
used to.
What? We were just oh my gosh. Prestwick is like the nicest neighborhood in
was
the
the
town
nicest
that we grew
neighborhood.
up in.
Yeah.
It was a really fun house.
Yeah.
It made me feel better moving to Indiana. It's like, at least I have a nice house.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I don't know anyone here, but I have a nice house.
But yeah, we went to Jade's, and then we started hanging out. And like probably the second or third time I was there, it was just like us, like just playing darts. And then vivid memory, she played Super Rich Kids by Frank Ocean. Like it was playing, I was like, I kind of like this girl. She's cool.
That's when we were driving my car together.
No, you played it in the basement too.
Oh,
But
well, that was one of my favorite songs.
like we were playing darts, and I was like, she's cool. I like her.
Yeah, so I have a different story.
Okay, yeah.
Do tell.
We actually met his senior year prom and my junior year prom, and he doesn't remember it. Because I remember I was I went with friends to prom. I didn't go with anybody, but he was on the dance floor, and I remember I was with my friends, and he was super quiet, and I kind of felt bad for him. And I'm like,
Huh?
well, it's like we're like, let's go talk to him. So I remember, I think it was Genesis. She was like, "What's your name?" And you're like, "Drew."
With his deep voice.
Yeah. Drew. That's the first time we met. And then that night we went to Moose's house and
Shout out Moose.
literally sat next to him like back to back.
Don't
But-
remember anything. I'm sorry.
Nothing. But yeah.
Wow.
We didn't talk or anything, but we did meet that night. And then we actually became friends and like interacted. It was probably like a week or two after that. Was it?
Wow.
I don't know. Last day of school for me, back of the Jeep, just driving around parking lot, I hear "I love you," and I was like, "Love you too." Turns out it was her.
What?
Oh.
Wait, so like before you guys were even dating? Wait, what was the
Yeah.
situation?
I don't know. I have no idea why I did that because I'm not an outgoing person at all. And nothing happened like prom night for us to like even be friends. But I remember thinking like that entire day, I thought he was really cute. So I said it on the last day of school.
Dude, that was bold. That was
I
good.
don't know why I did it.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
worked.
it was a sign.
It
Here
took
we
a
go.
couple months, but then it worked.
Yeah, here we are.
So you heard that she played, you said Super Rich Kids by Frank Ocean, and you were like, man, I really like this
Yeah,
girl.
it was like the whole vibe was like, I could be with her for a long time if
Yeah.
this is all we do. Like, I'd be cool with it.
So then you liked her personality.
Oh yeah.
And then what made you attracted to Drew?
Well, if anyone's obviously listening, his deep voice.
Okay.
But he's very
Go ahead. She had a crush on Will Smith for a long time.
not it at
That's
all.
probably one of those celebs where it's like, back in high school, you could tell that I was like in that era
Yes.
of like looking
in
like
your
Will
Will Smith era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
young Will Smith.
young Will Smith.
Not
Fresh Prince Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
I see that.
exactly. That's not where my head was at.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm one of those people where I need someone very calm for me to feel like really comfortable. And I feel like Drew has that presence where he's just super calm. And I can just like, we could literally sit next to each other all day and do nothing. And I would feel great. That's kind of what it was.
That's the best thing to look for in somebody, because I remember that's what I first thought about you when we first met. I mean, like you were,
Hallie was the calm one. There's no
Well,
way.
okay,
I
yeah.
was not calm.
but
at
I'm
all.
saying I mean, I do agree with that, but I'm saying in the sense of like one thing that as we became really good friends very quickly, I noticed that, like I could sit next to him all day and do nothing and I would be fine.
100%.
So that's a really good quality to look for in somebody. Because when you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you have to consider that, because we can just sit on the couch sometimes in silence and be
Yeah.
totally okay.
I mean, there's days that we don't do anything. And we're like, dang, are we wasting time? No.
No, because we're
not.
together.
So, yeah, no, I get that. That's definitely a good quality to look for.
You liked him because he looked like Will Smith. You liked her music taste,
His voice.
his voice.
Okay.
Yes.
Funny.
You guys both have really good style.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're not watching the video, you should, because they both look great. They're both like matching. You're both coordinating actually really well.
It makes sense why you guys want to be in New York. I think New York's like one of the best style
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
capitals
Yeah.
of the world.
I agree.
I'd say I'm sponsored, but I'm not.
When you were there, did you go to a lot of like places that were clothing brand places? Were they expensive?
A lot is crazy because it's only one,
One?
and I still shop there. Like you'd be very upset how much
Yeah,
this
I
jacket
would.
costs.
Don't do
Wait,
that.
how much did the jacket cost?
You want to know how much it costs or how much I paid for it? I'll tell you both.
Tell us both. Yeah.
So it costs $800, but I got it for like $395. So we're good. We're good.
I mean, that's like over 50%.
I got a
off.
sale, so we're
Dude, that's a good. I like sales.
Yeah, see?
Sales clearance section. I'm there. Okay,
the hat, $90.
All right.
that hat.
That hat, this hat, $90. The shirt, $90.
Suketu's freaking out right now.
Yeah. I've got socks from them, $35. Shoes, like $3.
I'm currently wearing Costco socks that I got a pair of like 10 for $9. So
Quality over quantity.
That's-
We're fine.
Costco
yeah.
shoppers,
We're
you know.
fine.
Yeah.
that's my headspace.
That's great.
Drew's
Okay.
I got a
more of
great book
fashion
for you.
person. Yeah.
No, but it's like a good thing. We were talking about this a little bit before the podcast started, but like there are certain things that you want to spend money on. And if you want to spend money on clothes, then do it. I think that's a great idea.
I agree.
I like spending money on clothes. I don't know. I haven't been doing it as much lately. I feel like we don't do that much shopping.
I don't
'Cause you
care
hate
about clothes.
shopping.
I
And so
hate
it's like boring.
Clothes
I,
I don't
myself.
care about. So that's why I care about cars. So I'll spend money on cars. And that's my headspace. When it comes to clothes, I think I only shop at H&M Like these pants are H&M, the
Yeah,
shirt
yeah.
is H&M.
Can you take him
We
shopping?
gotta get past fast fashion.
And I know a lot of people
Too much,
nowadays,
right?
everything is like fast fashion. I know it's bad, but
Yeah.
I do like quality clothes. Like if I have the opportunity to shop at like a better place, I'll do it.
You will?
I'll
But
do
will
it,
you
but
buy
I'll do
anything?
it once for the whole year. Like if it's something like I'm not a person who's like, okay, I'll just buy one thing here and then go to the next month and buy something. Nah. I'm buying one thing and then that's all I'm buying for the rest of the year. Like I do clothing shopping once a year. And that's on Black Friday. So yeah, we got off on a tangent, but
That hurts me a little bit. I'm gonna be honest because I like styling my clothes and having good outfits, and you just kind of throw on whatever you want. I mean, that's fine if you're not super into it. I understand. I don't expect you to be.
I
super
don't want to
into
look bad. I don't want to
right.
look bad.
But you've got these green sweatpants
Okay.
that like need to go, and I'll have Drew throw them away for you after this episode is over.
I love them because they're like stretchy and they feel good, but it's fine.
You've been just waiting to
I've
have
been-
that out.
Every time we
single
do,
time.
because we
Oh my
do a lot
God.
of Goodwill hauls sometimes, or like go like in terms of not hauls, but like take all our stuff and then go
Oh,
send them
yeah.
to Goodwill or wherever. And she's wanted to get rid of these green pants for the lawn.
Every time I try and sneak them in the bag that we're gonna take,
because I wear
and he
them
finds
all the
them.
time. Anyway, okay.
He's like, "Where's my pants?
where are my green pants?
What'd you do to my drink?"
What? Back to the thing we were talking about. What
Which
did
is
you guys-
relationships.
What'd you guys do on your first date?
Like date.
Date.
Yeah,
Like
so,
once
like-
you like established that you liked each other, not like the darts. Established that you liked each other.
So I was with my friends, Allie and Jasmine, and they were helping me get ready for my date. My mom didn't even know I was going on a date. I didn't tell her, but I'm not a dress person, or I wasn't back then. My mom told me I had to wear a dress. I refused. So I did not wear a dress. And then you showed up like 5 minutes later.
We went to the Cheesecake Factory. That's all we did.
Nice.
I was giving more of a story, but that works.
You just cut right down
Give
to
the
it.
other story that I learned like a month ago. Not even like a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
You didn't want me to talk about
No, go ahead. Talk about it.
do share.
I guess at some point, my parents thought they heard me say that Drew was gay, and they were like okay with us hanging out because he wouldn't be interested in me.
Oh.
I did not tell my parents that, so I'm not really sure what happened. But obviously, like we started dating, and they got the message. Like obviously, he's not gay.
Yeah.
Like we were just told wrong. But they're obsessed with you. I don't
We're good
really
now. We're
know.
cool
I
now.
completely forgot about that story until a few
That's
months ago.
funny.
I did not tell them that.
So they're like, "Oh, it's okay that you guys are going out, just the two of you. He's not interested in you.
Yeah. He's coming over every
okay.
night.
Well,
He's gay.
You guys can shut
No
the
need to
door.
worry.
It's fine."
Drew, if it makes you feel any better,
Oh,
every comment in the description or in the comment sections for like a lot of my anything I talk about when I'm trying to be funny in a way, it's like, dude, somebody needs to tell her that he's gay.
Oh no.
Every
It's like the
single
number one comment that we
Number one
get,
comment.
and I like don't understand.
No,
it.
I get it. It's because sometimes I'll do like this,
Nah, you're fine.
and then I'll do like,
You're fine.
and then they're like, dude, he's gay.
Nah, you're fine.
It's really frustrating when people say that because they're
I
just
don't
seeing a short video of you on the internet. It's not like they actually know you as a person.
I don't
But
mind it,
whatever. The internet's just
but-
crazy. But so interesting. Okay, so you weren't a dress person. You put on a dress for him.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Not that night.
Okay. I was gonna say, wow, you must have like known that like he was the one.
Yeah, no, I was not a dress person back then. I'll wear a dress now, like easy, just throw it on, whatever. But back then, no. I wore a sweater,
Yeah.
some nicer pants.
Sweater and jeans.
But yeah, by that point, like the date, like my parents obviously knew, like he's not gay.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So were you nervous on your first date?
No. I mean, I took things very slow. Like it's just who I am. Like the
Calm.
the talking phase
Mm-hmm.
was probably like a month and a half just because I like to get to know people. So we like,
People as in me.
yeah,
Just
people
me.
as a Jade.
Yes.
So like we were hanging out and then like I was already comfortable with her. And I had knew her parents beforehand. So So like first time I met her dad, he was like, "How you treating her? Or how is she treating you?" And I was like, something
Still ask
something
that.
crazy to say to
She's
just some
all right.
random guy. But yeah, and then was real cool with her mom off the bat. So it's like I wasn't nervous at all.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's the best is when you just vibe with the parents automatically. We didn't necessarily have that
No, we didn't have
situation.
that. Did you have that with his parents?
She's definitely afraid of my mom.
Oh,
I am
really?
not.
I'm bullshit.
Stop.
I'm bullshit.
You better not share this podcast.
No, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. She's a
I'm
very
not-
strict lady. She's very like,
Oh.
We just have different communication styles, I feel like. And I am not an outgoing person. And because it's such a big deal, like I want his family to love me.
oh, they do. You're good.
I know, but also like it's a lot of pressure. So then in that moment, it's like you freeze up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes a while. I feel
That-
like we're getting there.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, especially in interracial relationships. With Hallie, I didn't tell my parents about Hallie for 3 years.
Yeah. I was
and then when
deathly afraid of your mother.
and then when
She's
they did,
scary.
I mean, like, she would come to the house alone, like, by just her, and my mom didn't. Like, she kind of knew what was happening, and so
Not very often when they were home, though.
It was like the first time you ever came over, she was home.
I don't. Yeah, that was
She was just
surprising.
standing on the
That was ballsy.
My mom just like
Oh, you got to walk in. That's crazy.
Yeah. it was-
Growing up as KT, you couldn't even like get in the front door.
yeah,
No,
because
I
you
got
had
the
to,
front
like-
door. Yeah.
I
I had
remember
to peek in.
the
Like,
thing. No one came in the house.
I think I was the first one.
Yeah, Drew
Really,
was
like
the
first ever friend to come in.
Drew was the first person ever come in the house in our house.
It was just
Wow.
downstairs.
Because we were making a video
Crazy.
and
So like in high school.
oh yeah, no one. No
First
one.
person.
I
That's a
mean,
big
like
deal.
even when we were kids, I was friends with Jarrett, he was a guy in our neighborhood. I was friends with Zach, who was also like right across the street, and I was friends with them from second, third grade all the way till they moved away, like around sixth grade time frame, and they never stepped foot in the house. Garage, everybody was
Yeah,
in
everyone
the
was in
garage.
the garage.
The whole neighborhood was in the garage because we had Pepsi and Sprite, and so everybody would steal that stuff all the time. And then and I also have a TV and a PlayStation 2 outside, which he took my PlayStation 2.
Still have it.
Still have it.
Still have it.
What?
It's his.
Yeah.
It's he.
I
he
paid
played
for it. Hold on. Hold on. I paid
Final-
for it.
Wait.
Final Fantasy was the reason he wanted it, right?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom
Close
Hearts.
enough.
Kingdom Hearts. Sorry,
Close enough.
but yeah, he was the first person to be in the house,
That's a big
and-
deal.
and everybody was scared of my dad. Everybody. I don't know if you were.
No, I don't remember being scared of him.
Because he would chase. I mean, there was this guy who stole. Remember who Skylar was? I don't know if you know him. But anyways, he used to live in our neighborhood, and he was messing with my dad. Like my dad was trying to close the garage, and he put his foot there,
Oh,
so it would
no.
go back up. And then my dad started chasing him with a. My dad started
the cricket
chasing him
bat?
with a shoe.
What?
And he threw the shoe at him, and I was like, "Dad, you can't do that. He might sue you." So anyway, yeah, that's a story. But anyways,
You learned
Our-
so much.
Yeah, I know.
Garage.
I've been married to you and been with you for this long, and I'm just not finding these things out.
the Patel household garage was the community center for our neighborhood.
But then when you got inside the door, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Moves were made that day.
I think the whole time he was like looking over his shoulder. Like,
Yeah, because I've never.
we got to be quick. We got to be quick.
Yeah,
Wait, so you weren't invited in?
No,
by his
I mean,
family.
hold
You
on.
I don't
just
think
kinda
anybody was
like-
home.
Yeah, I don't think that's why.
Okay, that's
Oh,
a
You're
bit
still
different.
looking over your shoulder, like
Because we were
scared.
trying to make videos.
Oh, okay.
Back in the
the
day.
parkour video. Yes, parkour video.
That's my first post on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a picture of like him editing it.
Yeah.
11 years. I mean, I guess yeah. That
Is it
makes
still up?
sense.
Yeah. It's still.
No. Okay, picture
You gotta put it in the video.
right here. Okay.
That's crazy.
So we
my
were
gosh.
gonna move into like the interracial couple part of things. So were either of your parents surprised?
I'm trying to think.
Go ahead.
Jade's giving you a look.
She wasn't surprised because like Jade would come over, and much like the Patel household, no one was allowed in the house.
Really?
Yeah. So like Jade would come in, or not come in. She like knock on the door. Mom would be, "Who's this?" And then like she would always be there. So she knew of Jade, but she didn't know that we were like dating until I said something. But I guess in like black families, especially when like you're in a very, very white population, it's like Is she black? Unfortunately not. So sorry. But like, that was the question most of my family in Cincinnati asked. Like, because they had never met her. They were like, is she black? Nah, she's not. Sorry.
Opposite of.
Yeah, very opposite. But like, it's not an issue. It's just like for cultural reasons, it's just like black families tend to just like want to stay connected. And like there's a bunch of like mixed kids in my family, so it's nothing new.
Well, I think for me, it was like I led the way for my
paved the
family because
You
that
walked
is
so
not
others could
something
run.
that is in my extended family. So I'm like trying to think. There's like one in my extended family, like second cousin probably. I'm not sure, but there is one other person like Hallie.
Another
White
white person.
person.
Yeah. You could-
Anyways, so like it was just not like even a question. Like it's not gonna happen for me. Like whenever I Drew kind of probably knows my even like in the areas where I had an ex that Hallie knows about as well. She was also white, and I brought her home to my parents' house, and it was not a good thing. Very bad situation. Didn't do it again. I was like, okay, this is not going to happen anymore. So my senior year of high school, I was like, all right, I'm not getting in a relationship. I don't want to mess with my parents. I want them to be happy. 1 month into like school, we were together. So it was
a couple months in, yeah.
It was like October.
Yeah.
So we started school in August. Oh, I guess 2 months. You're right. Okay.
But I would say it was very similar for you. Like you were just expected, it's just like very common for Indian, Asian families to stay within the culture. So that was the thing for you too.
So I always thought that. But then you got to think of what you said when you started talking, which was we lived in a very white predominant.
Yeah.
I said this in the last podcast.
You did, yeah.
That I didn't see an Indian person till I got to middle school, which was Neil Patel, if you remember him. That was the first Indian person I saw. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And
it was bad.
And so like when you are surrounded by that, like, I'm not saying that you guys are the only thing, like not saying that I'm watching my words here, but if you're surrounded by that, you feel like that's who you eventually will end up with. Do you agree?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't feel that way.
Really?
I don't have a type. It's very cliche. I'm just like, my type's pretty. Mm-hmm. So like,
and Frank Ocean.
No, that's her type.
Yeah.
But it was
Will
just
Smith
like
is her type.
it was just like whoever I liked, like I liked. Like it didn't matter what race they were. So it didn't really matter to me. But some people are like, oh, I'm only dating white people. Or I'm only dating black people. Like that's not me.
I feel that too. I feel like I never had, I still don't. I don't have a type. I think it's more just personality. If we vibe, then that's a good thing. That's same how I feel with, I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect that I would end up with an Indian man. Like I obviously never had anything against it, but I just don't have a specific type of what somebody needs to look like.
Yeah.
I mean, I have certain qualifications, like you need to be hygienic, like you need to have a good personality, you need to be funny. But that was really it. Those are like the boxes that I had that I wanted to be checked, and you checked those, so that's a good thing.
So it made sense. I guess I did have a type. I'm not going to say I didn't have a type. Mine was like brunette. I don't know what it was. So like that was just
You like dark hair.
I don't know what it was. I don't know, but I like dark hair. Mm-hmm. But besides that, a lot of our comments, like when we started doing this podcast and putting ourselves out there, we do a lot of TikToks. I do
in the reels and all the things. I mean, in your YouTube videos too.
Yeah, I started getting really gaining traction on TikTok once I started posting stuff about me and Hallie. I've been making videos for 10 years, over 10 years. And so I never got traction until I found a niche. And my niche was being married to a white girl. And so
interracial couple content.
Once that happened, a lot of people started commenting about things. So we experienced a lot of racism, a lot of things like that. Have you guys experienced any of that?
Let me think.
Whether it be online, in person, whatever.
Online, no. In person, it happened once in New York on
Really?
the train. Yeah. So I don't know if you can tell this about me, but I people say like you've got a face only a mother can love. Like, I have a face only homeless people love because I just am a magnet to homeless people, and I have the meanest looking face of all time. But we're just sitting there. I can't remember where we were coming from.
I don't even remember this, so I'm
But
curious.
some guy was like on the train with us, and he was like, "You got a white girl. What are you doing?" Like, I'm chilling. Like, you sell out. It's just like that. And I was just like, "All right, man, cool." He's like, "Nah, I'm just playing." Like, but he wasn't though. He wasn't.
No, he wouldn't
Yeah.
say that to you if he was just
Okay.
messing around.
But it was. I mean, that stuff like doesn't bother me. Like, I don't care.
People are just so out of pocket these days. Like they'll
Yeah,
say
people-
anything.
Yeah,
That's
New York
especially in New
homeless
York.
is
Yeah. Oh yeah.
miles ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. New York is a different world.
People aren't afraid in New York. I feel like you know how online people aren't afraid to say anything they want to say. I feel like New York is the online of the world.
It really is.
And
It
so
really- yeah, that's
you'll
a good way
see
to put
everything.
it.
I mean, when we went there, we saw every possible situation. Like I saw a rat. I saw all kinds of,
yeah.
and you don't see that in
Not
normal life,
Yeah.
right? I saw what was the we were walking like close to Times Square, so like almost to Times Square.
Gross.
So we weren't like there yet, but there was this lady who was like on crack or something crazy, and so she didn't want us to get past like this part of the sidewalk, and so she took this this railing thing. Do you remember this? She took like this railing thing and like pushed it into the thing and started talking to herself. And Hallie's like, I hate people who talk to themselves. That creeps me out.
Like if you're having a full-on conversation with yourself, like you scare the out of me. Like,
Yes.
no.
And so, anyways, we saw a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
But you just don't see that kind of stuff. So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to your guys' relationship, because you guys are engaged, I want to talk about your wedding and your wedding planning and how everything is going with that.
I got my wedding dress.
Oh my
and
god.
we have our venue booked.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So what's
That's
the
the hardest
official
part.
date that you're getting married?
September 21st, 2025.
Yay!
That will also be our 9-year anniversary of us being together.
Oh my gosh,
What?
well that's perfect.
Yeah.
September's the best time of year.
September's a great month. Shout out.
Our wedding was September 17th and 18th.
Mhm.
So like right around that time.
It's a great month. You guys picked great.
Yeah.
Here in Indy?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. That's kind
my
of
God.
crazy.
Yeah, we're a little bougie.
I was gonna say that's super bougie and it like is kind of perfect for you guys.
But
That's
like
awesome.
my family's in Utah, his is in Ohio, our friends are everywhere. So Indiana doesn't really represent us. So
Yeah.
I feel like we should just pick where we feel is right.
Yeah.
And that was Brooklyn.
And
So
I think it's also good to do. The reason I like destination weddings, even though like it's not like the beach or anything, but it's still a destination wedding. You get to invite exactly who you want to invite, whereas when
Yes.
you're here,
You feel
Everyone
obligated
you
to
are
invite everyone.
required by your parents. Hey, if they're here, you got to invite them because they're gonna feel bad about it. And so,
They're gonna be upset if you don't invite them and their kids and their whole family and everybody.
and so
oh my God.
you guys have the excuse like, oh, we didn't want to invite you because we don't want to put the burden of you guys traveling.
Yeah.
and
It's
all that.
expensive.
We got a max cap.
Yeah.
Sorry. People
Yeah.
gotta.
The
So-
venue's only so big, you guys. Like we can't invite that many
Sorry.
people.
Have you run into any of that for like who to invite and stuff?
We've done some planning. Like we have a wedding planning book,
Yeah.
and like we've gone through like passes of who's making the cut and who's not, and like the lists
tryouts.
they've been cut in half. Like who's actually gonna come versus like who can be invited. Like we're still gonna send out invites, but like we know only so many people can come
Yeah.
because of that traveling requirement.
yeah. But I mean, like as far as like who to invite, it's kind of been a battle a little bit. Not between us, but more with myself. Like, do I invite my grandma? I'm still not really sure. Like those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to figure that out.
How big are your guys' families?
My mom, well, both my mom and my dad both have like 5-ish siblings.
Ooh.
And then,
Wow.
yeah.
Dang.
So kind of big.
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad only have like one sibling each, but like their parents have like 6 siblings each, and like all their like children are like in the same age range. So it's
Yeah.
like I've got like 10 cousins that are all the same age as me. So it's like, and I'm still close with them. Like, we're still cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'll invite them, but if they come, I don't know.
The guest list is the hardest part of any wedding, I would say, in figuring out who you're going to invite, how you're going to tell people no when they assume that they're invited to the wedding. That was one thing that we kept running into. People are like, oh my God, I can't wait for your wedding. And we were like, oh, you're not invited.
Yeah, that's tough.
To put in perspective, like my sisters, they all had like 1,000 plus
Oh my
at their
God.
wedding. And then ours, we had at the Indian one, we had like 300 guests.
Jesus
And
Christ.
so,
I mean, that's like a lot.
That was
300?
not enough to me. It just didn't make sense. Because, like, you know,
Yeah.
That's a graduating class at a high school.
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Did your budget just go out the window? Like, what happened?
It was very expensive. So we had 2 weddings. My parents paid for one. His parents paid for the other. But
That was
like,
the only way. There's no way we would have been able to do it any other way. So
It
very
was
grateful
wild.
that they were able to do that. But
yeah, it was amazing. Love that we have 2 weddings. But like, oh my
in India,
gosh.
it's just cheaper though. So like you can feed
Oh.
1,000 people and it's fine. But
It's true.
it's easier. So it's not as big of a deal as you would think. Yeah, I was gonna say the wedding planning is it can get stressful for us. I feel like it wasn't too bad. The wedding planning part of it wasn't too bad, but so much was happening during it. Like we were trying, like she was switching jobs. We were trying to find a place to live, like housing at the time. So it was during COVID. So we got engaged in 2020 and we were getting married in 2021. So the housing market was nuts. Like wood prices were 400%. Everything was just crazy. So we were a little stressed out. I think we like took it out. I took it out on Hallie sometimes.
Mr. Money Guy over here. Is
And so like
crazy.
we would be really stressed out. So it sounds like you guys aren't as stressed because you guys feel like you have a book, you're planning things.
You still got some time, which is nice.
Yeah. And like our guest list for comparison, we're thinking like 60 to 80 people. So that's really nice.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
so much smaller and more intimate, and you're going to be able to feel a lot more connected to the guests at your wedding.
Also manageable, like
Yeah.
finance wise.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, food is expensive. That's the only thing I remember that was like the biggest cost for us.
Food is, yeah. Food
It was
is
so
a
expensive.
lot.
Honestly, ours is a good situation because we're getting married at a restaurant. And so we pay for the food and that secures the venue. Like we don't pay for the venue and then food. It's just like we pay
All
for
in
the food
one.
and that's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
It's
smart.
expensive food, but it's within our price range. So
What
Well,
kind
you
of
got to think
food?
venues are like $7,000 just to rent the venue, and then on top of that, minimum is $7,000, and then on top of that, it's food.
yeah.
So what kind of food are you guys having then? I have to know, like, what kind of restaurant is
Allie
it?
is a foodie. If you didn't
Yeah,
know. So
especially
she's
New
really
York
into
has
food.
the best food ever. It's amazing.
Tell me about it.
Oh yeah, I asked Drew.
Tell me about
was
it.
it Drew that I asked you?
I think I
you said
suggested.
you said to go to the taco number 1.
Oh,
Los
Los
Tacos
Tacos
number
Did you
one.
go there?
No,
we didn't get a chance to.
We didn't.
Can we go to New York together? You
would
guys
be
know
really
the great
fun.
places. I know.
I'll show you.
We
around.
went to a
Yeah.
really
Please.
good pizza place, and I didn't want to leave. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I've never tasted something like. It didn't even taste like pizza. I was like,
mean,
is this
it
what pizza is
was
supposed
pizza.
to taste like? It didn't taste like, because I've never tasted that on my taste buds. But anyways, go back to what you were talking about.
Yes, the restaurant.
The restaurant. So Drew hasn't even been there yet because we're going to, and then we got his ring and, things got a little bit busy that day. But it's called Milk and Roses. And I went there last time I was in New York, and it's like Italian inspired.
Ooh,
I don't even know how to describe it, but
It looks like a gentleman's club almost,
Mm-hmm.
like very intimate, like a little dark. Like you've got the green,
yep.
like not bankers light. They are bankers lights, but like leather green couch,
Mm-hmm.
like red leather couches, like bar.
brick walls,
Real
fireplace.
nice.
Yeah, and then
That's amazing.
we're getting married outside, which they have their own little like courtyard almost, and it has what's the fancy word for like gazebo? It's almost like a greenhouse, but without the windows. And it's
Oh,
turned
yeah,
like
yeah.
green over time, and it has like checkered floors. Like that's where
Oh
we're
my
going to get married, and then we have cocktail hour inside.
Ooh.
So
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And with the guests, like if you said you have 60 to 80 people, it's going to be just like overall, the vibe sounds immaculate.
Yes.
Sounds awesome.
that's what we're shooting for.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's amazing. So you have your dress, You've got the venue. I mean, like that's the biggest part, basically the venue and securing that and the date and everything. And then your dress is huge. So I want to go back a little bit because you have a ring on and I love that. So is that like going to be your wedding ring or like, are you going to get another one or like, tell me a little bit about that.
So she thought the idea of a guy not having like an engagement ring was very stupid. So we got me one.
I love that.
And when we actually get married, I'm going to get a similar one to this. And then that'll be like the wedding band. And I'll get them welded together.
Very nice.
Yeah,
She's also
Hallie.
got a gold ring. So you guys actually, you like match perfectly.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah,
Beautiful gold
I
rings.
agree very much.
Because you're
with,
taken. So it's perfect.
with
Yeah.
having a wedding ring while you're engaged as a guy. I think that's normal. I think that should be normalized.
I think it should too. I like that. I like
'Cause-
that you have one too.
It also takes time to get used to, right? So like
Yeah.
the second you get married, you gotta get used to this thing. I was playing with it. I forgot it in I go to LA a lot, and I forgot it in the airport.
No.
The
Not the
Incorrect.
airport. Sorry, the airport hotel.
Incorrect.
I forgot it there,
Incorrect.
And they had to ship
And-
it to him from California.
and it was $70 because I got the wrong label. I got like a box label or something crazy, and it was $70.
He's lost it 2 times. Once it was in Target for 3 months.
3 months, and
Yeah.
they found it in they lost and found it.
You got lucky.
Yeah.
Dude, so I need that. I needed that year of getting used to Ring because I just can't stop playing with it. Even today, I'll play with it, but I'm
Yeah.
trying.
That's your
don't lose it.
ADHD for
I'm
sure.
trying not to. I have major ADHD.
Yeah, I'll die if this thing goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah. Like, I remember when I first got my ring, and I'm sure you probably felt the same way. Like, it does take some getting used to because I wasn't like a big jewelry wearer, especially on my hands, or like, I don't wear a lot of bracelets or anything.
Yeah.
It was definitely weird.
I feel like I started wearing rings probably a year before we got engaged. So I feel like that even helped me prepare for us getting engaged. And then this one, it's just like, I mean, I work with kids. So like fist bumps, that's what I had to get used to. It's like, I don't
Yes.
want to take a kid out with my ring
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you got to like adjust it a little.
Yeah, it's like,
Let's go back. Okay. I want to hear about one, how did you guys know that you were the one for each other? And 2, I want you to go into a deep dive of how you got engaged and how you proposed.
Ooh, boy.
Yes.
Knew that she was the one.
Yes.
I think it was like the first time that she went to Utah. And that was like Thanksgiving. So like shortly after we started dating, like Thanksgiving, she left. I think you said I love you, but in like a text. But like that was like, I really care for her. Like really care for her. I was like, I want to be with her too, but I can't. But
And so you missed her a lot.
yeah.
And you're like, okay.
So
So,
she
if
would,
I
like-
miss her, then I
Yeah.
need to be with her.
Yeah, she would leave to go back home like during the summer as well. And like I would also be like devastated. It was like a 2-week time span. I was super bored, like super sad.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, yeah, but you don't ever want to leave that person. It's the
Yeah.
hardest when you have to say goodbye to each other.
I don't know about you.
what I just knew.
Yeah.
Well, because I was in my senior year of high school. So I was like, there's no way like I'm going to get this lucky and just meet like, I mean, he was my first boyfriend. So like, there's no way my first boyfriend's just going to be the one. But also in my head, I was like, there's nothing wrong with him. Like, this seems great. Like, when is it going to go downhill? And it hasn't. So I feel like I always knew. I was just in my head like, there's no way. There's no way it's going to be this great all the time.
Yeah.
And it is.
Oh, that's amazing. It is so weird though when you get together so young because I mean he's my only ever boyfriend, and so I always thought the same thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna end up with the guy that I start dating in high school and
Yeah.
like he's my first boyfriend ever. But then here we are, and here you guys are too.
A lot of people can't understand that concept. They're
Yeah.
because like when you go to college, people are like sleeping around. They think that's necessary to like
Yeah.
go through the motions, I guess, and to
Have your
explore
college phase, yeah.
and to have that college phase. And I never understood that.
Yeah, I
first of
didn't
all.
need it. I didn't want it, I don't think.
Yeah, and it's okay if you want it, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't understand why people needed to explore to find the right person. Like, I didn't get that. If you find the right person right there and then, because like what I've ran into, what I've seen is somebody finds a really good person for themselves. I've seen it in a friend before where they found the person, but they were like, okay, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with this person because I haven't spent any time with anyone else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I was like, it was just like, I think you're about to make the worst decision of your life, but go for it. Why not?
Well, see, like, and it scares me too because I can't even think about being in the dating field nowadays. Like,
yeah, too far gone. Way too far gone.
like it stresses me out to think about having to be in a situation where I'm trying to find my partner and
Oh my God, dating apps.
I don't
Do you
know
guys
how
ever
to-
use dating apps?
No,
You
I didn't have to.
No.
I'm just kind of like, oh, that sucks. I didn't have to do that.
I know.
Move on.
I know, like it's so stressful and seeing what people do nowadays. And like when I have friends that are like, oh yeah, I'm on all the apps and like I have to swipe and do all like that's
And
crazy to
people-
me.
Now that AI is a thing, like
Oh my gosh.
people are catfishing left and right and all this stuff where they're like creating new headshots and different scenarios for their pictures. And I'm just like, oh my God, that would suck to be in a situation like that. But yeah, there's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a lot going on that we got lucky.
Yeah, we all four of us
Got
are very
lucky.
lucky.
Yeah.
So lucky.
We're with our person for a long time. So Drew, how did you propose to Jade?
All right, so what happened? So 2020. Hold
What
on,
happened?
we got it.
There's a backstory.
Yeah, there's a
to
big
the story.
backstory.
Paint the picture. I want to know. I want to.
2020. Her cousin was getting married. Destination wedding in Mexico.
Oh, very cool.
We were gonna go to Mexico. It was like a couple weeks out. Couldn't find my passport, and I was like, it's not here. I can't find it. Let me just like cancel it, and then I'll order another one.
Mm-hmm.
Canceled it, and then they're like, yeah, we're not sending out passports at all. So sorry
Because
about
COVID.
you. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
So-
like 6 months until you would get a passport, right?
Yeah. So like tickets were already booked to go. And we had to just be like, we're not going to Mexico anymore. And
Honest-
then she was like, well, we get vouchers. It's like, where would you want to go? And then she made a whole PowerPoint slide of like places we could go.
I love when I see people do that.
But pause for a second. Mexico, I think it worked out for the best because I don't want you to feel like we didn't go because you didn't have your passport. Like I also
Oh.
did not feel comfortable going to Mexico in the middle of COVID.
yeah.
And the day of the wedding was also my first day of grad school. So it didn't work out for a variety of reasons. But then I was staying at your apartment. I was like, if you go anywhere in the world, where would you want to go? And he said Blue Lagoon. So when I think you had work that night. So when you worked, I was on my little laptop making a PowerPoint about going to Iceland and what it would look like. That type of thing.
So
Oh
Iceland
my
was on the
God.
brain.
Yeah.
So it was like, let's go to Iceland. And then 2023. Yeah, 2023. She was like, we're going to Iceland for you graduating. It's like, all right. And then I was like, hold on, I got to do something. I got to seize the moment here because it's been long enough. And like, I want to do it. Like, I wanted to get married, but just like seize the moment. So she was like, it's a graduation present. And I was like, unfortunately, it's going to be more than that. But fly to Iceland. I had it planned to like propose at like Diamond Beach, which is like a very famous beach there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
But
black sand beach.
Yep.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
but like I got pictures of it and like people were just everywhere. And I was like, I do not want people to be in the background of this thing or
Yeah.
even be there. And then she had talked about like a private black beach. And I was like, hold on. When is that? When are we going? And like for 2 days, I was like, where's this black beach at? Where's this black beach? And, you know, we get there. I was like racing daylight. Like it was about to turn and it just looked great. And I was like pulled over. I don't want to say I was nervous, but like I couldn't get the ring out of my pocket. I, was like- I got on one knee and I went, oh.
She's like, what is
And I pulled the box out. I mean, the pictures paint it all, but that's it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So Jay, did you have any suspicions that he was going to propose on this trip?
He actually said, like word for word, like we're not getting engaged during this trip because I think friends had asked in the Discord or something, and so you're like, oh well, now like they took the good idea, so like I'm not gonna do it. So I had that in my head, and I also had the idea in my head, like traditionally, like you move in together and then you get engaged. So I was like, you know, like, he's not gonna do that. Like he literally said he's not gonna propose in Iceland, and we don't live together yet. So like.
He really
There's
threw
no
you
way.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we got to this beach, and it was really cold and really windy. So I like had my coat on and everything. Like I was zipped up to the core. Like I looked like crap. But I was warm, so it was fine.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
What did you even say to me?
I was like, "You gonna look like that? You gonna wear that? You really?" No, I think I said, "You really want your hood up?" I was like, "Yeah, I can show you pictures." She was so pissed,
Oh, man.
like so mad. She had to take her hood
Like,
off.
why would you say that to me?
And like I had a camera, like, and I was like taking pictures. Oh, it's so goofy.
I
can't wait to see.
Well,
I took it off because he's made me so mad. So I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll take my hood off. I'll just be cold.
And like I got on
it all
one
made
knee
sense.
to like take pictures. Like, oh, this would be good. Like I gotta kneel down. And I was like, turn around.
And this is the moment because when we actually got there, he was like hugging
Oh
me,
man,
sort of. And I was like, why are we pausing? And like, why is he being this touchy? Like, something's just a little off. And then he wanted to take pictures of me. So I turned around, like, he asked me to. And that's when I was like, is he about to propose to me? So I stood there extra long, like, just so he could get, the ring situated, which he still didn't when I turned around.
that's funny.
That's when it hit me. Not
Wow.
before at all.
Back to the
That's
outfit thing.
crazy.
She wouldn't wear the dress I got. I literally bought her a dress, and she wouldn't put it on. She's like, I don't want to wear it. Why would I wear it? Because I said we were going to an open house to see a house, and
Yeah, I'm like, what do I need to dress up for? Like, what
and I
are
was
you
like,
talking about?
what? Just put on the dress, and I started to get like mad at her, and I think
Because I had a cute outfit on. I'm like, why can't I wear the outfit that I was wearing? And you're like, just change into the dress. And I'm like, God,
and
fine.
you're stressing that moment. So like, I'm not thinking about the way I'm acting in the moment. So I'm saying things I don't mean to say. So you might have thought that, yeah, I was being really rude. I was being rude.
Yeah.
So, no, I get it. I get you in that situation.
It sounds
you
like
want
you're
them
a
to
little
look a certain
stressed.
way for the pictures.
Take your
for
hood
the
off.
moment.
Jade,
You only get
I don't care
engaged
about
once.
how warm you are right now. Take your hood
Yeah,
off.
she wore this hood the entire trip, and I was like, "You look so goofy."
I did not
with this
care.
hood on.
It's Iceland.
Did you go to that plane in Iceland?
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
Oh my
It was
God.
a walk to get there, but we
You
did
should have
it.
just taken my drone. I've always wanted a drone shot of that so bad.
Oh, the people with drones there, though, were so annoying.
Oh,
Like, I
really?
could not
It's
be
the
that
worst.
person.
The pictures are great, but it's like you're driving
Oh
and
my
then
God.
you pull over to like look, and then you just hear
Drone.
zzz.
Because that's all people do there.
That was everywhere. Like, every place we went, it was just the...
Photographers and
You get people like
yeah.
you get the roped off parts, and people like over the ropes. I'm like, I can't stand.
You're
people.
like half a foot from falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
So you proposed at a private beach, is that right?
Yeah.
So was there anybody else there? Or was it just you guys?
There was a couple cars. It's private in the sense like you got to drive a little ways, and then you got to pay to get in. So like
it was owned by someone, not Iceland. If that makes
Oh,
sense. So that's why it
interesting.
was like private.
Yeah. That was a good
sense.
spot. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you picked that one over the other one that
And
you
then
were
it's like,
possibly thinking.
how many people can say they got engaged in Iceland?
I know. That's such a cool
At least from here.
thing.
That's
At least
pretty.
from here.
That's
Yeah.
pretty nuts.
That's amazing.
Not gonna lie, but
You got engaged in Indiana.
yeah.
No, you're fine. You're
Iceland.
fine. You're good.
Iceland? Baller.
No, I
pretty cool.
agree. When it comes to being interracial couple, like we ran into a situation where I was Hindu and she was Christian, so we had a little bit of a conversation before I proposed. Was like religion was a big part of our lives. Is religion a part of your guys' lives?
And are you different religions, or how, like, in your wedding, are you going to incorporate different cultures into your wedding?
Yeah.
So with me, I kind of hope your family doesn't ever listen to this, because there's going to be a day that comes where they realize I'm not religious, and that's going to throw them off. That's really the only thing. And I can't speak for you, but you're not like overly religious.
Yeah, I'm not overtly religious. Like I grew up like going to church, and she did as well. But like after not going for so long, you just like step back and back.
Yeah.
Like you just keep backing out.
I never believed in the church, though, because I grew up in Utah, and
Yeah.
I went to a Mormon church, and I never aligned with that.
Yeah.
I went
understand
for
that.
like a social thing. So it's never been like part of my life.
Gotcha.
Like my family's very Christian,
Mhm.
and it's like I guess I'd say I'm Christian. I don't know. But I don't like go to church. I don't read the Bible. I don't do any of that stuff. Like I'd say I'm very spiritual in a sense, more than like not religious. But like it doesn't bother me, like religion aspects at all. Like that can be incorporated and I wouldn't care because it's not what I'm there for. Like I'm there for her. And it's like I'll do whatever.
But your family's religious.
Yeah, they're religious.
That would be a big deal for them to know that I am not.
I think it's one of those things where you it's a good conversation to have because a lot of things that people ask us is like kids, like what's going to happen, how are you going to raise your kids, and
people are
that
very
question,
concerned.
That question always pops up, but you got to remember it's just you two. And I always try and tell people that it's like it's just us, it's our plan, it's whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that aspect of things, even in like especially in Indian households and Asian households, even most likely in African American households, your religion and your tight knit community is a big deal, and it matters what they think.
Yeah, for sure.
And so sometimes that will bleed into the relationship. That can that can be a very big topic of discussion. So that's just something that I wanted to ask because a lot of people have that question of like, okay, if I want to be in an interracial relationship, what's going to happen when that topic comes up?
It's inevitable. Like families are going to ask, like people get really pressed by it. And the most important thing is just that you block it out because it is just you guys. You guys are your own couple. You're your own team.
You're your own family once you get married.
Yes. But it's so hard to block out things that other people say. Yeah, because people are always going to have an opinion, and it's so frustrating.
It's frustrating, but you got also, it's hard because you want to respect them as well.
Right.
That's the hard part.
But you can respect it and just be like, I'm going to do my own thing. It's just hard to remember that. I remember that was something, on the internet as well, that we've faced of like people within certain communities are frustrated at how we do things. And it's like, that is none of your business. It's our business. We're a couple, we're the ones getting married. We're the ones planning our wedding, doing everything. So we're going to be respectful, like from a family perspective of like, if parents want to say this or whatever, then we're going to be respectful, but like, we're still going to have our own wedding and do our own thing. So that was something that we faced. Didn't know if you guys had any issues with that.
Well, that's how, like, our wedding, like, that's what we're going into it with. Like, we're going to do our thing because it's us. We're our own people, and we represent certain things. Whereas I'm sure a lot of family of mine wanted me to get married in Utah, I'm sure. So we're already kind of breaking the mold with that, if that makes sense.
It's good. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. You're walking so that others can run. That's what we've always said about you. It's like you're paving the way for other people in your family to have maybe be in an interracial relationship.
Yeah. All right.
So now that we've wrapped up talking about weddings and relationships and all that stuff, I have a few questions for you guys. We're gonna play a game.
And then after we have one question we're gonna go through. Okay. So one question from somebody who submitted it, and then we'll end the podcast.
So my first question is, who is more romantic?
Oh no.
I'd say me.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why you had to think
it's
about
not that I'm not romantic. It's just like I'm just chilling. Like I'm here.
He's not like outwardly with his emotions. So when he is, he's being very like, he really means it, which I like. But I'm more outward, I feel like, with my feelings, which might come across more as romantic.
Yeah, I'm more romantic than Hallie. What question?
So, like, what's the most romantic thing that you guys have done for each other? If you had to think of like the first example that pops into your head.
Oh man, I don't know.
Well, she took him to Iceland.
And he proposed in Iceland.
Yeah.
We canceled each other. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, when we were in Iceland, it was actually our 7-year anniversary night too.
Oh wow!
And we stayed at the Blue Lagoon. So I like set all of that up because I knew he really wanted to go to Blue Lagoon, but they got us like chocolate covered strawberries and like everything. Yeah. So, but that was kind of like more like thank you Blue Lagoon because they really did all that. It's not like I requested it.
I'm trying to think. Like I just do regular people stuff. Like when she was in Purdue and I was here. Like I would drive every weekend, like after I get out of class, I'd drive like Thursday night and stay up until Sunday. So like just that's like my type of thing. Like
He
That's
might be
sweet.
more romantic.
no.
That was
she brought it
huge.
back. She brought it back.
You both are very romantic. I think in different ways, in ways that you show it.
Yeah.
This next
Different
one, I
love
think we already
languages.
talked about it.
But I think I don't remember who said it. Who was the first to say I love you?
I think it was you. Definitely you.
I think it was you, definitely you.
I mean,
I think that's what got the relationship started, right?
yeah. I mean, I said I love you first for sure, but the like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
I
you
probably
said
did that too.
Yeah. You said that.
And how long after you guys were together did you say I love you?
I knew I loved him, like was in love with him, not very long after, but I knew I didn't want to be that person where like week 1, I'm like, I love you.
Yeah.
So I think I waited like 3.5 months
Mm-hmm.
to say it.
Something like that.
That was you.
I like the first day that we started dating, I wanted to say it, but I didn't.
You
So I waited
held
for her to
back.
say it.
I did say it after like 2 months.
Yeah.
I said it without thinking. I was like, I love you. And then he drove away and I'm like, why did I
I
just
didn't
say
say it
that?
back.
He didn't say it back. No.
Oh no.
No, he
I
didn't.
didn't
I'm like,
because
oh
I
my
didn't.
God.
I was in shock. I was driving away and she said it. I was like, and so I went all the way home in silence. I didn't even know what was happening. And then I texted her saying I heard what you said. And then I texted her that and I felt so
Such
bad.
a high school
But
thing.
hey, I went back and said it
Yeah.
in person.
I almost said it to him over the phone. I don't know if you knew this or not, but when you were in the hospital that day,
Oh yeah.
we were talking on the phone. I was like super worried about him. It's just like kidney stones, but he was like definitely high.
I'm sorry about your kidney stones. That sounds awful.
It was real bad.
Yeah, he was definitely high from medicine, but I was like so worried about him. So when we were talking, like I was literally in Avon High School, like I can picture it in my head. But as I was hanging up, I almost said I love you. I was like, we'll talk to you later. And then hung up.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, he probably was like so hopped up on medicine he wouldn't have remembered anyways.
Yeah. They stuck me with morphine. And
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I went to sleep in like a minute.
Yeah.
I
That'll
bet.
happen.
That's some strong
It was
stuff.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to get a gift the other one hates?
You.
Yeah. Drew's really good with gifts.
I wish I was good with gifts.
She's
That's
also
a great
good with
quality to
like
have.
she's good with like you should try it. And then like knowing that I don't like it.
I've learned.
Okay.
I have learned, I feel like.
Yeah, you're good. You're good now.
But, honestly, if I just stick with like ALD stuff, like his favorite brand ever,
We're fine. We're good.
it works great. I got the wrong size for Christmas.
She does just small stuff like that. It's fine though.
Yeah.
No one cares.
But if I
It's
just
her-
stick
it's
in
her
this
shirt now.
category, it works out. But I'm definitely, that would be me.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
I mean, wrong size, maybe like it'll shrink or like I don't know, it'll fit
It's her
somehow.
shirt now. We're
Yeah,
good.
oh, that's even better.
Yeah, he gave it to me.
If
He had already
it
ordered
doesn't
one.
fit.
Like,
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she gave me the wrong size, and the next day I was like, I gotta get the right size.
it was on sale at that
Yeah, it
point.
was also on sale.
Oh, very nice.
Besides the point.
So who is sloppier when they're drunk?
Well,
Hold on now. Hold on. That's different. So,
I've never thrown up when I
listen.
was drunk.
Oh,
True.
man, listen. This was the last time we went to New York, which was in October. Whenever we go, because me, Frank, and Moose went in July, and we went to like Koreatown, and we got real drunk every night. But soju is the drink. Like that is the drink that Frank wants to drink.
It's
Tastes like
good.
juice, doesn't taste like alcohol.
Oh, and
Like,
you're a big juice guy.
There's
Yeah.
So he had a lot of juice.
Yeah.
but like there's a meme out there where it's like soju and it's like, oh, this doesn't taste like anything, and then like the next picture is like just blackness. Like that's all soju is. Like it just tastes really good. But one night we were looking for bars to go into, and we couldn't go into any, and it was just like hours of waiting. So the time we finally got into one, I was like, you know what? I'm making up for lost time. So Frank just starts feeding me shots. Like, and we each had like a punch bowl of soju. I probably had half of each of those. And then like on top of that, Frank bought like 6 bottles of soju, and he was like slowly feeding me shots. And then I threw up.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
When you have like, a whole punch bowl, I would think maybe.
It was
of
like
soju.
bright red. It was
Jade's like,
And then-
I'm happy I
It
wasn't
was.
there to
It's
see
really
that.
funny though. It's really funny because we were getting food, and like I was standing there, and she was like in front of me.
It's like one of those places to picture it. It's kind of like, how would you even describe Bell Fries? It's like you can order, but you're also outside.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like half inside, half outside type of feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're literally like,
It's like a window inside.
Yeah,
Kind of like
Yeah.
a drive-through, but it's not a drive-through.
yeah.
it's a walk-up drive-through.
Gotcha.
So we're literally like, the worker can see us, we can see him, like even when we're outside of the
Yeah.
restaurant.
And I'm just standing there, and she's in front of me, and I feel it start to come, and I'm going, I gotta move. So then I try to go to the trash can that's right there. It's locked, and I'm just like standing, and I go,
A
and I
lot.
turn around, there's trash, and I just go, and it just all comes out, and I'm like, all right, and it all comes out again, bright red, and then all my friends, we still laugh about it, but like
Yeah.
the guy that was working there, he was like, take bro to the corner, get him off the trash, get him out of here.
I was like, we're literally waiting for an Uber. He's like, I don't care. The corner.
He's like yelling at you as you're
Yeah.
vomiting.
Yeah.
God.
Like, what
And
am
then
I
I
supposed
felt-
to do?
I felt 10 times better after it came out. So
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you always do.
That's good.
You always do. It's funny.
What?
So Drew, just to clarify, he's sloppier.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
me. It's
All
me.
right.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. 2 more. What are your icks for each other?
So like obviously you guys are in a relationship and everything, but like what are some things that you do maybe that he does that give you the ick and vice versa?
I don't know. I don't think I have any.
You haven't been like withholding something
I don't
for this
think
moment?
so. I don't
Jade, you
think
looked
so.
like you had something immediately.
I was
that came
nervous
to
that
your
he was going to say
mind.
something about me.
I don't think I got anything.
That's crazy.
I'm also very petty. So it's like, what are we doing here on time? Like, come on now. We gotta pick this up. Why are
Yeah.
we late? Why are we late? What are we doing?
That was today, but also I didn't really care about that.
I don't know. There's no
if you
icks,
give
really.
me some time, I will tell
Yeah,
you.
round 2. I don't understand.
So your ick is being late, man.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
real big on time.
That's good.
And I'm always running late.
I feel like that's kind of the dynamic in like you have to have that balance in couples because I like to be early to things.
I'm on Indian Standard Time. Very late to everything. So
Last question.
wait,
who's-
Jade didn't say anything, did she?
No, but
What you got?
the only this,
Go ahead.
I can only think of one thing. You don't wash your face every
Oh
day,
my
and
God.
like how many times do I have to say it? That's it.
Yes.
Wash your face when you're not like.
Yeah.
He washes his face when he takes a shower, and that's it.
Yeah, but not at night.
No,
Yeah.
wash your face.
I
That's
see.
it.
I don't get why you got
I
to
see
do
a
it at
very
night.
equal divide here on who washes their face at night and who doesn't.
But and when they do it,
I think
as
we don't
well,
put
why
makeup
is it
on.
so aggressive? Like
Ooh.
he like
So
scrubs his face.
aggressive.
I gotta get it out. It's dirty.
But
But
I
if you
gotta get the
wash
dirt
your
out.
face every day, it's like you're not washing your face and then you're putting your head on your pillow. And
Yeah.
you're so big on hygiene, so it doesn't
Listen.
it's not adding up for me. That's
even
it.
yeah, there's there's that, and then with the aggressive thing, like literally you were putting lotion on today, and you would put it on your hand and be like, like you're trying to start a fire or something. I'm like, oh my god, what's happening?
We got different skin. We have to get every piece of it because
Yeah.
if we
You're
don't,
not but like I
it's
would
gonna
think
show
you
up
would
white.
do it slow and like
Nah, I
really
didn't do
try to get it
anything.
in your skin.
do
Yeah, but
anything.
it's like getting more into your hands than your skin when you do that. Like I put lotion on his face yesterday and he's like, rub it in. Like that's not what you do. Like you just
Hold on, I didn't
You
say
just
rub it in. I probably
don't-
said like, come on now, let's get this going. We gotta get in there. Come on.
so aggressive about
But
everything.
what I did start doing since Hallie told me to, but is putting sunscreen on.
Yes.
Do you do that?
I got him.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I started doing that, and I guess it's a big deal.
It is a very big deal.
The reason that a lot of people with darker skin tones look terrible when they're older is because they don't put sunscreen on. Like my parents, like they don't put sunscreen on, and you can start to see like the spots and a lot more of the skin wrinkles like that you wouldn't normally see. And now I get it. So I put sunscreen on. It's a good thing, even if you don't need. Well, we all need sunscreen.
You don't need sunscreen. You
But like
need
growing
it.
up, no one told me to put sunscreen on. They
Yeah.
were like, "You're brown.
Yeah.
You're good."
Yeah, like I remember the first time we went to like Florida together, and the sun is obviously very hot in Florida. I mean, it's hot here, but like in Florida, it's a different hot.
Yeah.
he would not put sunscreen on. And I'm like, just because you don't get sunburnt doesn't mean that you don't need to put sunscreen on. Like,
Well,
you need to protect that layer of your skin.
That was the first time I felt the sun
It's
that
hot.
light. I was like, man, this kind of hurts a little bit. So yeah, and I started putting sunscreen on after that.
I'm really proud that you now wash your face and put sunscreen on.
Well, he doesn't wash his face at night, so.
Yeah, he's
Don't
kidding.
need
So
it.
you could do it more.
Don't need it. You're all right.
And then what, does he touch his face all the time with like his fingers?
Ooh,
and like,
no.
No.
He's really big on that because I will like naturally like there's something in my eye. I'm gonna try and
I'll
get
be
it
like-
out. Yeah.
That's
He's like,
good.
don't do
Like,
that.
I'll drive and not even like in peripheral. I'll see it and I'll
He's really helpful. Yeah. And if I forget sunscreen or don't put it on enough, like he reminds me.
Oh, that's really good.
That's good.
But
That's
I do this
really
all the time.
good.
All the time. I need
yeah,
to
and
stop.
he'll grab like,
no.
especially my chin. Like my skin is just more naturally oily, and so he'll grab my chin or like my face. I'm
be
like,
like,
stop
"Oh,
touching my face, because you don't realize like how dirty your hands get like under your nails and
Oh,
everything, and it's
I
disgusting.
always think about it.
Yeah,
He really
that's
does.
amazing.
That's
Oh,
good.
Always think
that's
about
Okay, I'll start thinking
amazing.
about it, okay? Last one. Who is more likely to start the argument?
Me for sure. Me for sure.
Is it because you said you're petty?
Yes, I'm very petty.
I would say I do because I feel like you don't really start things.
No, it's me.
You say things that might start an argument, but you don't say them intentionally to start an argument. You know what I mean?
No, it's me, 100%.
All right, then you got to work on that.
It's just like, I don't know. Like, we've been together so long. This is a real big bad thing of mine. Like, you just got to be able to read my mind. Like, we got to be on the same wavelength.
He's
Like,
so serious.
I have friends who's like, we don't have to say anything. And we could just like no need for conversation. And she's like, you can speak to me and we can have a conversation. Like, I don't know what these gestures are. I'm like, come on, you gotta know what this is. We've been together so long. So that's how
I need words.
that's how like
Verbal
arguments start.
communication.
And I'm the one.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
real bad.
That makes sense.
Interesting. So I feel like it's kind of flipped for us. I expect you to read my mind sometimes.
Yeah, but I start the arguments.
Yes, you do.
Oh, 100%. I don't know what it is. I think I read this thing online that says like the person who usually starts the arguments is the person who gets bored. Like they're bored and they just want to like
Stir up a little drama.
stir up a little bit of drama. Interesting.
I mean, like I pay attention to everything, so it's like I will notice something,
Yeah.
and then I might like nick at it. Like, come on.
But I don't.
You won't let
I
it go.
don't
Do you
get
let it go? You don't
No,
let it
not
go?
at
See,
all.
that's the
I'm
thing.
very bad.
I
I'm
just
so
can't
bad.
let things go.
Yeah.
It's so tough. It's so tough. But those were all our questions. That was it. The only thing we have left is one question from you that has been asked. Okay, so I'm going to read it. All right. I have an unusual dilemma, and I'd love to get your opinion on it. I'm a 25-year-old woman living in Southwest United States, and I'm a casual nudist. By that, I mean I'm too involved in the culture of nudism. But I do love to occasionally experience the freedom and connection to nature. I am not naked all the time, but I don't have any inhibitions about being nude around close friends or other nudists. I spend 1 or 2 weekends every summer at a naturist resort, but it's a secret. I keep it from almost everyone in my life. So my issue is that I've been seeing someone casually for about 2 months, and we've made the transition into an exclusive, committed relationship. He has no idea about my nudism. Obviously, there is now pressure that I have to open up to him about it, but I'm terrified of the judgment or rejection. I can understand that having a partner that likes to run around naked crosses a boundary for a lot of people, but I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, and I don't want to give it up. How can I delicately introduce this side of myself after withholding it this long? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you. So, Drew, Jade, what would you do in this situation?
Out of all questions, that's not what I was expecting. But
Yeah, that's wild.
I say make it like an us thing. Like go on a vacation, get an Airbnb that's super private, maybe has a pool and then just casually like go into it. And then it can be like a fun thing between you two. And then you can kind of go from there.
I like that.
I didn't think of that. I was just gonna be like, just tell him. But that probably wouldn't go well. But you've got a good mind.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think if you bring your partner into it and you're like, hey, so this is something I'm into, but I just kind of want to introduce you to it slowly. This is what I like to do. You know, maybe like you said, go on a trip together or something and then just get naked in the pool and just be like, hey, you want to take your clothes off?
We can slowly walk this trail naked.
Yeah. Walk in nature, feel connected to nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I am not understanding, like, do you just want to be naked in nature, or do you like the thrill of like other people being there?
Oh.
That's the part where I'm not quite connected with.
Yeah.
Because if it's just nature, like, just have it between you two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's plenty of places.
If you really like this person, then I think it is important, and you want to take future steps to being together long term. Then I think it is important to involve him and let him know, and just be like, hey, this is something that's a really big part of my life. And at least that way, you know, you'll know pretty quickly if you are going to end up with this guy or not. Either he's into it or he's not, but at least you'd have your answer. And it's not that you're you're not like lying to him. It's just something that you're not it's pretty intimate. And you're not super ready to share it with him yet. But I think it is good to share that kind of thing with your significant other.
You can't let that slide.
Because you'll just keep thinking about it. It's just like anything big. If you feel like you're not being fully honest with your significant other, it's like it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it's going to be harder for you to bring it up. So I think if you just get it out there, just share it, he'll either love it or maybe you guys aren't meant to end up together.
Yeah, I agree with everything they said. I know they said this was the last question, but I have one more that kind of relates to everything going on right now with you guys and everything. Getting married and all that. So this is a question from somebody. They said, me and my girlfriend are in the same situation as you guys. They're talking about us. She is white and I am Indian. She's white Portuguese and I am Indian. How did you convince your parents that it's not a big deal to marry outside of the culture? And how my girlfriend's parents do not want to pay for the entire wedding, but my parents want them to pay for the entire wedding because the bride's parents normally pay. So, they're getting married right now. Very soon. They who the finances behind it. For us, it was like the Indian wedding was paid by my parents. The Christian wedding was paid by Hallie's parents. And that's how we did it. In terms of convincing our parents that it wasn't a big deal to marry outside of the culture, it took a long time. It took like 4 years to convince them. So that's going to take time. It's just going to be, when it comes to trying to convince your parents who are very grown up differently than you just have to take steps of introducing them every day to different cultural events, bring them to all these events, tell them that, hey, this person's interested. They want to learn more about our culture. They want to know more about us. So I'm going to keep bringing them to our events. And then eventually they'll start to realize this is just another human being. Okay.
It's not that deep. It's not that big a deal.
It's not that easy either. What I said was just easy, but it's not that easy. So, but then going back to that next question about paying for the entire wedding, that's tough. So for you guys, what's your advice for them, or what are you guys going through?
So my brother is older than me, and he just got married a couple years ago, and we're going by the tradition of like the bride pays for the wedding. Mm-hmm. So my brother, like my parents didn't pay for my brother's wedding. They did the open bar because my dad wanted that. Mm-hmm. But that's it. So going into our wedding, my parents have the expectation that it's now their turn to do that. But they just gave us like X amount of money. And if we want more than that, then it will come out of our budget. Yeah. So I don't feel like you have to force the other side of the family to pay for this huge wedding where they might not be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's times where families don't agree with you on certain things. If you want to have that freedom of doing what you want, you might have to pay for it yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Which is nothing wrong. Like, but it's hard. It's tough.
I'm very big on like, if you want to do it, pay for it.
Yeah.
Because it's all about you. Like the venue that we picked, there was a previous venue in like the Pacific Northwest. It was like starting 30? I could be wrong.
18.
All right, my bad.
It was 18.
bad.
Just a little.
Just a little.
With food, it's probably like 30.
Yeah, because it was
Wow.
18,000 just for the space, nothing else.
And I was just like, if that's what you want, pay for it. Like money, I don't want to say money will always be there, but like if you're working, there will always be money there. And if you allocate it correctly, you can pay for these things and you can do whatever you want.
For me, that did not make sense. Like, I get where you're coming from, but I also didn't want to spend that much.
Yeah.
And I feel like I like our new venue
Yeah,
more,
we're fine.
honestly.
We're good now.
Which it's still kind of, I mean, weddings are expensive. So even like X amount of money, it's not going to cover our entire wedding.
Yeah.
So I was already expecting to pay
Out of pocket.
out of pocket. Like, that's not a big deal. But I don't think there's any pressure for your parents to contribute. And I didn't expect my parents to contribute. It's just a bonus.
A reminder to everybody to go to www.halfpastshot.com, submit your own questions.
Yeah, because we didn't ask them any. So
Exactly.
lots of questions off screen though.
Yes,
So we're
yes.
fine. We're fine.
Thank
Exactly.
you both for coming on.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for having us.
Jai.
Absolutely.
Yes, both. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. You guys are gonna have to come back eventually.
Yes, 100%.
We'll have a different
After
table
the wedding.
set up.
Sounds good.
Talk after the wedding.
If we're
Yes.
here.
Married. All right. Half Past Crew, we love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you. If you made it this far, please comment boogly boo. I don't know. Something. I said that in the first podcast, remember?
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Boogly boo. Anyways, we are excited to grow this podcast and this community. Exciting things are coming. We'll see you next Monday at Half Job.
That was awesome.
Cue the music.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
We're not done yet.
This was such a good.